OK, this is without question our top story of the day, and bear with me here because you couldn't really make this story up. Again, it's Milton Keynes related because a Milton Keynes man has had his car vandalised and claims it's the council's fault, the local council there in Milton Keynes. The council accidentally published the addresses of local people alongside their objections to a nearby park on the internet. Well, our reporter Brendan Murphy went to meet a spokesman for the local residents. We've called the representative John, although that is not his real name. He has asked us for his anonymity due to his fear of retaliation from youths who are upset by the closing of a local park. Well, Brendan began by asking John why locals sent their opinions on what should happen to the park to the local council.
We were trusting that the council would use it as a valid survey, but what they in fact did was put it on the World Wide Web for all to see. So effectively what's happened is the names and addresses of about 50 residents who responded to our survey with all their contact details has been put on an open forum for all to see, and that's been up probably for about 24 hours in PDF format. There have been residents who have suffered damage to, for instance, vehicles since the council published the data on the web. But it's early days, it's only a couple of days, 36 hours after they published it, and who knows what will happen this weekend. The residents are living in fear.
This could have been a coincidence that this attack happened in the evening after the publication online of the residents' names and addresses, though, right?
To be fair, that's absolutely right. But you can't prove the other way. You can't prove that it wasn't. What I would say is there are residents and people around here who've lived here for a decade or more, and apart from the odd incident, there's been very little trouble to personal property and effects. And the particular person involved who had the car has had no incidents of vandalism whatsoever, and yet the day after the data's published, the car is vandalised.
Okay. And how long has this person lived in the area?
12 years, as I understand it.
Okay, so we're going to take a walk around to the park now, yeah?
Yep.
We see a sign here that says the play area is temporarily closed.
Yeah, this is a difficult one. The council closed it, and yet they're saying they haven't adopted it.
As we stand here, obviously, it's almost in the middle of a roundabout, isn't it, this playground?
Well, I think it's a health and safety for a number of issues. There's health and safety for the residents with the children rushing around on their bicycles. There's health and safety for the children because there are cars here, there are blind corners.
And the housing, just to kind of paint the picture for everybody at home, is basically 30 yards from the front door to the park.
Brendan, you obviously don't play cricket. That's 22 yards is a cricket pitch. That's about a cricket pitch.
What would be the resolution that you would seek for this problem?
We want great play areas for our kids. Everybody in Milton Keynes wants that. This is the wrong play area in the wrong place. What we need and what we demand of the council really is to relocate, not remove, but relocate.
Okay, so we're back at John's place. Okay, so John, I mean, we're talking about the antisocial behaviour of the park, but I mean, the real aspect of the story here is the fact that Milton Keynes Council have published your private details.
I think that they've been negligent to a point where I think that someone's head should roll. This is completely and utterly unacceptable. The data has been published on the open web. We had a scant terribly sorry and we'll try and not let it happen again from Mr. Brown. Totally unacceptable. But it's only part of the picture. And I don't want your listeners to run away with the idea that we want this part removed and just kids sent away. We don't. But we also don't want this inept council and its officers and its politicians to ignore us and then to publish our data in a public forum where we can be further intimidated. It's totally and utterly unacceptable.
I mean, this story is just absolutely ridiculous. That was Brendan Murphy, our reporter there, talking to John at Milton Keynes Village. In around an hour's time, we are going to be having a response from Milton Keynes Council. So if you live in that area, that response is coming up in around an hour's time. But in the meantime, I would like to hear your views on the phone line. And again, I totally appreciate that you might want to use a different name. That is absolutely fine by us. The phone lines are open. Tell us what it's been like living around that play area. Has your life been made an absolute misery? 08459 455 555. The phone lines are open and we'd like to hear from you.
Saturday Breakfast.
OK, don't forget Gaz is going to be here at 9 o'clock, but in the meantime, on to our big story this morning. Earlier on, we heard how a Milton Keynes man had his car vandalised, and he thinks it might be Milton Keynes Council's fault. The council accidentally published the addresses of local people alongside their objections to a nearby park on the internet.
The names and addresses of about 50 residents who responded to our survey with all their contact details has been put on an open forum for all to see, and that's been up probably for about 24 hours in PDF format. There have been residents who have suffered damage to, for instance, vehicles since the council published the data on the web.
I mean, you really couldn't make this story up. John now joins me back on the line. Welcome back, John.
Good morning, John.
We, of course, are calling you John because you don't wish to reveal your real identity, and I don't blame you for that off the back of this. Now, we did promise you we were going to have some sort of response from the council. We have that now. Are you ready to hear this in full?
Absolutely. This is the first time I've heard it, obviously.
OK, so a statement has been sent through to us. This has been sent through by Mike Brown, Assistant Director of Environmental Services for Milton Keynes Council. The statement reads as follows. We are very sorry that human error led to personal details of local residents being published on the council's website. The document was removed immediately when we realised the error. The play area in Milton Keynes Village has been closed as we investigate the problems local residents have told us all about. We are consulting with residents on possible options for the future of the play area. To close it permanently, to change it to a smaller play area targeted at younger children, or further options to be suggested by residents. A decision will not be taken until the consultation closes. We are going to be meeting the residents on the 2nd of June to hear their views. And let me just say once again, a spokesperson was not put up for interview. That was sent instead. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's almost adding insult to injury. This man is responsible. They are earning hundreds of thousands of pounds a year to be directors of Milton Keynes Council. We, as taxpayers, are paying their salaries, and quite honestly, quite frankly, I think that's an insult. We call on Mike Brown as residents that he should go. He's head of the inquiry. His staff made the mistake, and he should do the honourable thing and resign.
So this meeting on the 2nd of June, is that news to you? Do you know about this meeting?
We knew about that meeting. It's to review a report made by the council, but the council made based their report on fatuous data, and that's why we did the survey. I would say there is another meeting preceding that on the 19th of May, where a group of residents are going now to the council chamber to make a formal complaint against Mr. Brown. But I think he should, in the meantime, I repeat, I think he should go.
I mean, in this statement, they are saying, we are sorry that the human error led to personal details of local residents being published on the council's website. I mean, how does that sit with you? Because they are saying, we are sorry.
Well, I'm sorry, but sorry isn't enough. Are they going to offer to pay for the car that was damaged?
I mean, what would you say if they are listening to this right now and their argument could potentially be, and again, I'm not putting words into their mouth here,
no.
But their potential argument could be, well, there is a police investigation going on right now, and it could just be a coincidence that a car was damaged off the back of this leak. What would you say to that?
Yes, I'm a fair-minded person, and we're fair-minded residents. It could be that case. But it's the first incident to happen to this particular family in 12 years. It's a heck of a coincidence. But it isn't just that. I don't want to focus on this car. What the real question is, who and why and what are they going to do about publishing the data of 50 residents?
John, leave it with us. More to come on this programme and also the Milton Keynes Breakfast Show from Monday morning. When I first heard about this, I've got to be honest with you, I couldn't believe it. And I think it's not good enough personally that a spokesperson was not available to come on this morning's programme. It's all very well reading bits of paper, but we want to actually speak to a human being. John, thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you, Justin.
That's John from Milton Keynes. Jane now joins me, also from Milton Keynes. Hi, Jane.
Oh, hello.
And again, this is not your real name because we want to protect your identity. Was there any further trouble overnight then, Jane?
Yes, there was. The police had to be called last night between 12 and 12:30 because we had some kids in the park up to, obviously we don't really know what, but they were moved on swiftly by the police last night. But this is symptomatic. This has happened quite a lot since the park's been closed.
I mean, just describe how your life is right now, because it's very easy to use this term, I'm living in hell, if you like, but has your life become quite literally hell where you live?
Absolutely. We all bought a house in a beautiful part of Milton Keynes. Milton Keynes Village was wanting, everything it has to offer. And from the day that park was opened, it has been a living nightmare. For all the days that it was open, we had to call the police, sometimes 1 or 2 times a day. And we've all got children, so we all want to enjoy the facilities on offer. But we have residents that are even too scared to leave their homes after school, and we've got 50 or 60 children on our doorsteps.
OK, just finally, Jan, I want to get this question to you. Clearly, there has been this leak of information. Names and addresses have been published on the website by mistake. They admit that error. Are you concerned there could be further attacks?
Absolutely, and I think it's also to note that our fears are not unfounded about reprisal now that our personal details have been published on the internet, because some of us had already experienced attacks on our property and on our children at school as a result of everything that's going on around this park. So yes, we're all living in fear a little bit.
Jane, thanks for your time. Thank
you.
There you go. It's a really, really concerning story, this one. More to come on the Milton Keynes Breakfast Show this Monday morning at 104.5 FM in the New City from 6 o'clock with Helen Lee. And just finally on this one, I know the powers that be at Milton Keynes Council are listening to this programme right now. I urge you not to send us a statement next time, to actually put somebody up for interview so we can talk to somebody. I hope that you see sense and you can do that for this Monday morning. Fingers crossed anyway.